Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Aditya Bhaskara. I'm the track director for the data track, and hope I could do this in person, but unfortunately we'll have to do it here. So I want to tell you a little bit about the data track, which is one of the big tracks in the both the MS and the PhD programs. So here's a quick overview, right? So the goal of the track is to club together courses that all give you expertise in data management and analysis. Okay? And what do we mean by management? So it refers to how you handle large amounts of data. And these are courses like database systems, information retrieval, and so on, which allow you to handle, which teach you how to handle large amounts of data at scale and things like that. Okay? And the second goal of this program is to teach you how to analyze large amounts of data. And for this, there are like three classes. So you have courses like machine learning and data mining, tell you how to play with data, algorithms to learn the notion of efficiency and so forth. And also there's a strong emphasis on visualization, where how you visualize data, how you like interpret it and things like that. Right, so these are like the two main goals of the data track, and all our courses are kind of centered around these basic notions. And so it's one of the largest tracks, as you can imagine, because data science is huge, and the program kind of gives you a very good sense, good depth into the various aspects of data science. Okay. And the other reason it's pretty popular is that there are plenty of electives, okay, that you can choose from. I'll mention a few of those in the next couple of slides. Okay, and so there are a lot in common. By now you would have observed this, which is that there are a lot in common across the tracks. Okay, so if you're looking for questions like how many course credits do I take, or what are the qualifier procedures for PhDs, and what are the things for master students like projects and so forth, these are all found in the graduate student handbook. So I believe a final version of this will be out in the next couple of days. So look out for that. This can be thought of as some kind of a hitchhiker's guide to grad school at the School of Computing. Okay, so and also if you guys are interested in things like how to transfer credits and so forth, this is a good place to look at. Okay, and you should also always talk to your grad advisors. Okay, so those will be like uh, your to-go people in terms of questions about the logistics. Okay, and then you come to the track director typically. Okay, and so if you have questions about like how many seminars to take, how many independent studies to take, and so forth, then the handbook is the place to go for this. And okay, so a little bit more about the data track, right? So we have four kind of core courses or four core groups of courses. So the first one is algorithm design, and there is only one main course for this, which is graduate algorithms. Okay, and this assumes a certain background in like basic UG level algorithms, and it builds on top of that. Okay, and there are also courses about analyzing data. So we'd like you to take one of these two main courses, either data mining or machine learning. Okay, and you can take both, in which case one of them will count as an elective. Okay, so there are four core courses, and there are multiple that you have to take as electives depending on whether you're doing the project or thesis and so on. Okay, so for that I refer you guys to the handbook. Okay. And yeah, so for analyzing data, you've got to take one of these two. And the third category is systems. Okay, and here what we currently have is advanced databases, but you will find that this course is actually not being offered this year. Okay, so I will talk about this towards the end, but basically there's a list of suggested alternatives that we have, given that the course is not being offered. These are all roughly in the same area of systems for managing data. So I'll point those out in the next slide. And the last topic that we have is visualizing data. And here there are two courses. Most students take the first one, which is visualization for data science. If you're interested in computations involving scientific data, which some students tend to be, then there's also a course on visualization for scientific data. Okay, so scientific data just means, simulations of physical processes and things like that. And it's a different kind of data from, let's say, some Twitter data sets or something like that. Okay, so that's why we have two courses, and you need to take one of them. Okay, so that counts for the visualization requirement. Okay, so these are the core courses in the data track. Okay, let me now talk a little bit about the electives. So the electives are also roughly managed into the same, divided into the same classes. Okay, so you have a bunch of algorithmic electives. Okay, so these are these are the more theory heavy courses. So you have courses like computational geometry, you have clustering, you have computational topology, theoretical machine learning. This falls under algorithmics as opposed to analytics, okay, just for logistic reasons, I guess. And and the second category is a bunch of courses on like probabilistic modeling, natural language processing, and so forth. So these come under analytics. These all deal roughly with how you analyze large data sets. And there's also a deep learning class that is taught by faculty from math. And so I must mention that this list is not exhaustive. Okay, so you can read this list offline, but I've got to mention that this list is not exhaustive. Okay. And if you want to take a course outside of this list, though, you've got to get explicit permission from the track director, which would be me. And but people take courses outside of this list all the time, so you should feel free to reach out if you want a course to act as your elective. Okay, and likewise we have a bunch of courses that are in the management class. Okay, so and this year, because database systems is not being offered, so some of these courses that are currently in the management class, so there's, for example, things like HPC, Advanced OS. There's also a course on information retrieval, which I forgot to put in here. Okay, so these will all act as replacements for the core data management requirement. Okay, so that's something that I want to say about the database course. Okay, so this is roughly the structure of the thing. So you have a bunch of core courses, a bunch of electives, and electives fall into these three categories. We would generally like you to take one from each of these three categories of electives, okay? And at least one. Okay, so clearly you have to take more from some to satisfy the course, the total number of credits requirements. Okay. All right. So and finally, the other thing that I wanted to conclude with to keep the video short is that so this is the data science seminar is an important event that you have to keep in mind. So this is a seminar that runs every semester, and students usually sign up for 1 credit hour. Okay, and all PhD students are strongly advised to register for this because usually many of the faculty speak in this seminar. So you'll get a sense of what kind of work different faculty do and things like this. Okay, so all PhD students are strongly advised to register, and it runs every semester. Okay, many of the master students also take this to figure out if they want to do a project or a thesis, and many times attending the seminar helps a lot in this regard. Okay, so if you're interested in doing research, the data science seminar will give you a broad feel of what all is going on in the in the department, actually even in the university level, in the area of data science. Okay, so that's something that you should look out for. And just to end, so here's my contact. So you can reach me via email at this address, and For various frequently asked questions, I also maintain this web page, which you might want to make a note of. Okay, so it's also accessible from my homepage. So if you just search for me, go to my homepage, you'll find a link to this web page. Okay, so things like what courses can I substitute for database systems and so on. So that you will find those kinds of information on this website. Okay. All right, so that's it, I guess. So welcome to the department, and hope your online orientation, the rest of it goes well. Take care.